Nice. Looks like we're ready to go for match two here. We've got Dietmar versus FoxSinFlo in Div 2, which is a Bonney versus Belo Betty. What do you think of the matchup here, Rennie?
Yeah, it's I mean Bonnie is really good into most aggressive decks because it slows down the game very, very much with leader ability and just being a 5/5 leader. And green in general with like freezing stuff and an 8 cost kit. So there's a lot of tools that Bonnie has. But you should never underestimate Betty's ability to just go wide and pressure life, even against something like Bonnie. But yeah, we see Dietmar going second, which already is like really strong for him because the Betty likes to go second, play the 4 drop, Ivankov on 4.
Absolutely. Interestingly, looking at the deck list, Diet- Dietmar isn't running as many of the early game stall tools, I would say. He's only running 2 carrots and he's not running any what's it called? The electrical Luna. Um so that could hinder him in this matchup here, not being able to freeze as much of Fox and Flow's board.
Yeah, Luna in this matchup would be insane in some turns, especially like once you go wide and then swing your entire board as Flo and then just Luna. But Luna is not that common in most Bonnie decks because it's like it's not searchable, it's another brick, and the deck's already running very tight on non-counter cards it can run. So,
Absolutely.
but
But we
maybe
see still a great play here with the Rouge. A nice blocker and also restands it on for his leader ability.
yes.
But oh, that is such a good pickup from Flo here. Off
Yes.
the 5 cost of Vankov, he gets to play a 5k power or less Rev Army type, and he gets Karasu, definitely one of the strongest cards in his deck.
Yeah, but now he has the problem that yeah, he kind of wants to swing, but he also kind of doesn't want his like stuff to get rested. So yeah, maybe swinging first, then playing Divankov would be better. Then your Inazuma gets rested, but maybe that's okay.
Now, could this be maybe he takes both these hits and instead rests the Karasu?
Yeah,
I
that's
think that's a
also an
high
option.
priority target to get off the
Yeah,
board.
that's also an option. That's why he chooses not to swing.
Oh, that's really not what you want to see from Bello Betty. You don't want the Bello Betty player does not want to not swing for a turn.
Yeah, usually if a
Hopefully, they
game,
can get some big swings later on.
yeah, usually if a game takes long, Betty's not gonna win it. Yeah, but we see the Cavendish here.
Dietmar just building up that board, building up a lot of units that can then crack back at these Bello Betty units.
Yeah,
And opting not to swing into the leader, I think very wise. Bello Betty has a lot of very nasty cards that can trigger off the life and just present even more threat.
oh yeah, it's the worst when they trigger the Hormone event, Hormone Ivankov 3 cost spell, and it just plays any Revo army from hand, like any 5k power Revo army, and then they just trigger Karazu basically.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir here. That very thing happened to me at Monday on locals. It was heartbreaking. It's like they run that now.
Yeah, some lists do because like at some point the Betty player only ran Lindbergh. So everyone started swinging into like their first life because the other trigger, the yellow ones, they don't activate in that early because the requirement is that both players combined life has to be 5 or less. So if you swing early into Belo Betty's life, it usually doesn't trigger. But
Yeah, so they started running
yeah,
Hormone as
yeah,
an early game
yeah,
threat
and
trigger.
Morley as well.
Oh,
But yeah,
Morley's very strong. That stat line is so strong for
yeah,
a Diable Jambe style effect.
yeah. But now we see why starving can sometimes be an issue because now he gets to safely play Koala, and now the board looks very threatening.
Absolutely. Would you be able to tell me what that card he played off the koala is? I
It's 4
can't
cost Ivankov, the one that spawns the character once he's 7k. It's from one of
really.
the premium collections, I think. The one that Race Max also was in.
Oh, yeah, that rings a bell. That rings a bell. Very nice. This is a very spenny Belo Betty deck here.
Yeah, he's been playing the deck for a long time, so he probably got them when the cards are dirt cheap.
Ah,
when,
nice.
when nobody was a believer.
Now everyone is a believer. Did you see the result of that Toronto regional? Top three were all Belo Betty.
Yeah, it was a Betty
Wild.
final. We had Amsterdam, which was a Betty final, like a Betty mirror. And I think it won 7 out of the last 8 regionals. If I'm not
That's
correct.
crazy.
It's a fake deck, trust. Trust. It's a fake deck. I've been saying it. I've told Jack it's a fake deck and then I win 7 regionals. Yeah,
I mean, I'm honestly very surprised that it's doing so well. I thought the appearance of a buggy starter deck and would push buggy more to the front. That 7 cost buggy promo really grinds down this deck to a halt. So it's really surprising to see it doing so well into that.
yeah, problem with Buggy is just that it loses to most of the Luffys. It loses to Law, it loses to green purple Luffy. I think black purple Luffy also does pretty good into it. And then you have like an, let's say, even matchup into blue purple Luffy. Maybe it's slightly Buggy favored, but not by that much because it's the blue purple Luffy after all. So yeah, that's what pushed back some of the Buggy players and made Betty very good. But Betty in general is a deck that if you survive Swiss with it, then it's very strong. But there's a lot of like weird matchups for Betty that could happen in Swiss, like Bonney, like Buggy, some random Lucci player or something, some Teach. So there's a lot of decks that just shit on Betty in Swiss, but once you make it to top cut and then like most of the let's say niche decks are filtered out and there's lots of blue purple Luffy, green purple Luffy, and law and stuff, then
Then you
then
just have your
then
good
yeah,
matchups.
then you basically have a best of 3 of only good matchups, which is why we never saw Betty be like the most popular deck in Top Cut. They never had the most entries. I think in Toulouse we had like 10 blue purple Luffys and stuff, but Betty always comes out on top.
But still a fake deck, right?
Yeah, it's
Fake
fake,
deck.
it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. Don't play it.
Oh, so we see here from Dietmar, he throws down that 8 cost kid. That's really going to put the brakes on Flo's aggro here. He's essentially an 8k power leader now. That's just going to be tough for Flo to deal with.
I mean, he has 2 Karazus, and Karazu doesn't need to target the leader, it also targets characters, so if you want, you could reduce it by at least once to 7. Maybe rest the other Karazu with leader ability. But also Koala, the 2k, and just reducing it by 3 basically makes it the leader, like makes it a 5k. So there's some
True,
tools
true.
in Flo's deck to deal with it. Race Max as well, if he plays it, which he does not, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, doesn't play it.
Oh no, he's running 2 copies.
I am blind. He does run it. Yeah, but like Race Max and Koala both reducing it to 5k basically means you're back to where Bonnie leader is.
Yes, that could be really strong here. But his hand size looking pretty small here. Only got 2 cards in hand. I'll go to 3 on his turn, but doesn't even have the stage out. That stage could have been so useful here to find those power reduction tools.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think Flo can complain about the cards that he saw looking at his board state. But yeah, stage on top would of course be pretty good. But playing stage down in as Betty is pretty costly, I would say. 'Cause it's like let's say if he had stage on the board, he wouldn't have 2 cards in hand. He would have had 1 card in hand. Which is a big difference in this deck. So it's expensive sometimes to have to play stage down. It's kind of like Teach in OP9 when Teach didn't have Kuzan and stuff. Where in some matchups you just didn't play stage, if unless you like couldn't play the game because it was just too expensive. Just reducing your hand size by 1 more.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Flo here has two cards in hand. Now, interesting play here I want to showcase from Dietmar. He swung with his Rouge blocker, trying to get that extra card out of Flo's hand. What do you think about that? He has one less blocker to protect the kid.
It is really greedy because there's let's say there is an koala coming down, then you're basically left with one swing into kid, which I guess just dies, and then you have no blocker, and your leader's pretty open to the rest of the board.
Absolutely. It's looking like. Is that one card left in life or two cards in life?
I am pretty sure it's one.
Yeah, very greedy play then. If this kid goes, then it's just going to be all out in his face. I'm not sure how many cards Dietmar has in his hands. It's looking like a pretty thick pile, maybe 5 or 6 cards in hand.
Yeah, he didn't counter much yet. He didn't counter at all, actually. There's no cards in his trash, so might be more than
Oh,
six.
wow. Yeah, so that's going to be a hefty hand size. So maybe not so greedy, but it still will force out a lot of counters from his hand.
Yeah,
Maybe he's looking to follow up this turn with another 8 cost kid. We see he does run. Oh, how many does he run? Just the two. Okay, so maybe not.
I mean, yeah, a second one would be very strong because, like, let's say we would have the reducer for this kid. There's a good chance we would definitely don't have the second reducer for another kid with just one card in hand. Yeah, we do the leader ability.
I think Flo really just has to go for it this turn. I mean, he's only got one card in hand, and this is the probably the best board he's going to have for the whole game. So I think you just got to assume that maybe Dietmar has all bricks. We know Bonney does run a lot of bricks.
For
It's not
sure.
impossible.
So that's 11 into kid, which he probably reduces the kid. It's 11 into 7.
And this is going to be a leader ability, almost certainly on the Karasu. I think you definitely want to rest that. So then this was a great counterplay from Flo here. He uses leader ability and didn't buff the second Karasu because he knew he was going to get rested. And it's put Deepmar in a really interesting position here where he has to choose between something super buffed, something that's going to debuff him.
Hmm. He ends up not resting the Karazu, but the Ivankov, which I think is a decent choice instead of the Karazu, because if you rest the Karazu, then he's just gonna use the Don to beat over your 7K kid. By resting the Ivankov, he loses like a big swing, and also like Karazu being able to swing into the kid and reducing it, it's still like a big Don investment. I think that's good. If the Karazu was buffed, of course you rest the Karazu, but in this case, I think I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Although Belo doesn't have a lot else to do with their Dons, so I think doesn't mind the Don investment here. Getting that kid down to what 6K? Oh, it's gonna fall over pretty easily. Already got 3 cards out of Deepmar's hands with that last attack. I think that the next one's probably gonna go through from the Karasu. Just depends how much he wants to commit here. Does he really want to put 5 Don, make it 10 into 6? Oh, he's just twirling it around a little bit, giving it a little dance. I do find it pretty interesting the certain ticks that players have when they're thinking, play around with their Don a bit, play around with their characters. It's always very interesting to see. And yeah, it's a lot of thought going into this attack, and it looks like, is that 5 Don? One, two,
Uh,
three, 4. Oh no, 4. Is that
so it's,
9 into 6 then?
yeah, it's 9 into 6.
So two 2Ks gets him out of it. Do you think it's worth protecting here?
It depends on your hand. If you have a second one in hand, then you could let it die. Hope that your opponent swings the life, take the life, and then counter just the last swing, which is gonna be an 8. And then you play another kid. So yeah, he just lets it die. Because
Very nice.
me as the Betty player, I only have one card in hand. So I would be afraid of another kid. And I cannot defend my board because I only have one card in hand. I would like swings at board here. Because like swinging 7 at the life and then 8 just means 2 2Ks gets him out of it and he keeps all his board.
Absolutely.
Because this is a 7 at life. I would have probably went 5 at Rouge, forcing a card or just getting the Rouge. And then 8 8 into the Cavendish.
Oh, swinging with the koala blocker as well.
Yeah, because your Koala blocker doesn't do much. Like you're not blocking anything this turn. And then you still have 3 life. And then if you like 5 into Rouge, he gives you a card. 8 8 into Cavendish. The Cavendish dies for sure. You don't die. But yeah, he just gets there because Dietmar just doesn't have counter.
All bricked up. I think that was one 2K. I saw the X Drake there.
Yeah. It was like 2K, 1K, but it's like an 8 and they could do a 6 after. So, but yeah, we
That is unfortunate. Such is the way of Bonney. So many bricks in hand.
right. But
That was amazing play from FoxSinFlo.
like the safe play would have still be 5 8 8 and then clear board because it's like unlikely that disconnects.
Do you think maybe it was a read from letting the kid die? He let it go for 9 into 6. Two 2Ks would have saved it. And he let it go. Do you think maybe he's thinking he doesn't have that counter? So I
Maybe,
should just
maybe
pressure life?
that was his thought. Yeah.
But yeah, very, very well done from Fox and Flo. So we're going for game 2. Dietmar here choosing to go second.
Yeah.
Of course, denying Belo Betty that amazing 4 dawn turn. That's so important for them. So I think it's a very wise choice here.
Yeah. And we see Rosinante being played, which ends up, you look at the 2 Don he has in hand. Can be punished by Kuma.
Oh, be a very strong play here. But it doesn't look like he has it here. I think he would have played it down pretty good. Oh no, there's tap 2 dawn. And there's the Kuma. Yeah, I think that's a really good play there. Establishes
Mm.
even that small 2K body is so annoying on a Belo Betty side because I can just buff it up to a threat, a 5K threat
Yeah. And
so
then
easily.
your leader is a 4K sometimes. So then just attaching 1 Don and using leader and it's 6 into 4 suddenly, which is like very annoying. But we see the Whoosh again. So great start.
Absolutely. Shame there from Dietmar's side, just looking at his deck list. He is running 4 Bonney searches and 2 of the Kid Killer searches. Still haven't seen either of those. That could have really helped slow down Belo Betty. At the very least, the Bonney searcher, because it's another target they have to swing into.
I mean, last turn, if he instead of playing Rosinante played the Bonnie Searcher, the same thing would have happened. But at least we had one more card in hand.
Very true, very true.
And yeah, we do have the 5 cost Ivankov again, so we are gifted.
Good at the game.
Good at the game, yeah. But this time,
No, if he's truly good at the game, he's just gonna play the Karasu here.
yeah. I feel like if he's truly, truly good at the game, he plays Ivankov, like the 4 cost.
Oh, Ivankov into Karasu.
Yeah, that would be truly gifted. And we have the same dilemma as early the first game. Does he want to swing and get his Karasu rested, or does he not want to swing and keep his Karasu on the board?
I mean, it worked out well for FoxSinFlo. Yeah, just holding off the attacks. I doubted it. I'll admit, I doubted the holding it back, but I think it really worked out well. Saving their Karasu for the next turn where it's going to have a bit more impact with these bigger bodies. And it's a swing from Bonney here into life. Interesting. If this is a trigger body,
Yeah, if this is a trigger body, the game is over basically. But yeah, he counters.
Flo counters out and plays a carrot,
Yeah,
pre-plays that carrot, basically telling Flo, as soon as you swing, your board's getting frozen.
yeah. Yeah, taking like the Betty players are greedy. They're greedy fucks, and then they usually just take all their life. But especially against like a deck like Bonnie and stuff that slows you down a bit, taking life can be risky. Even though this, I mean, if he triggers a body here, he almost wins. But like his condition is not fulfilled yet. Like Bonnie has 4 life, it would be like he would be at 2 life, so he couldn't trigger like any of the yellow triggers, and so basically only Lindbergh and stuff trigger. And yeah, and he wants to play the koala, so keeping the life is also very good. But I played GP against Betty recently, and then I just swing into their life and they take it, so they're on 2 life, and then they fail to kill me by going all in. And because they, instead of just giving me like a simple 2k earlier, were on 2 life, and you just kill them with something like Secret Rare Luffy, or just by your board being established, and them ignoring it because they went live. So yeah, sometimes you can get away with hitting the Betty player. The only thing it does is it makes it harder for you to actually clear the board if they take it and don't trigger, because you're just gifting them cards to defend their board. But yeah, that's why
Absolutely, that's just pure gas
yeah,
for a Belo player, and of course, giving them more cards to do their leader ability later on. It's so
yeah,
taxing on a Belo player's hand,
yeah. Flo is
having
experienced
to
on
discard
Betty,
that card.
and if you take the life there, and like, it stops you from playing Koala, obviously, because then you cannot go down to 1 life. But let's say even if you didn't want to play Koala and you wanted to do something else, going down in life just enables him to finish you with Hody at some point. So yeah, pitching the 1 card isn't too bad.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And with some of the tools that Betty has, she can actually play like, she's not the best at playing the long game, but it's not impossible. I remember it was Betty against Purple Luffy. It was some Asian event final, some championship, and like the Luffy player ended up like not using leader ability and just countered a lot to stay alive, because Betty usually just kills Luffy pretty fast because it takes life and it's so fast. And then suddenly the Betty player just started playing koalas, started playing race mechs and stuff, didn't swing life, and started starving the Luffy player, killing his nine. Ended up killing like his 9 cost Luffy because it was reduced by koala, and then he had like 1 or 2 cards in hand. So the Betty player just ended up swinging into his board instead of life. So kind of funny what the deck can do sometimes.
Yeah, it's got some actually pretty crazy control tools. I mean, that Lindbergh with the koala and the raised max, amazing. That Kuma KOs something. So yeah, it does have some control tools here.
I mean, yeah.
Very unlikely to be used, but they're there. They're there. You got to respect it.
I mean, that koala would be instant 4 of an any deck if it wasn't leader locked. It's like
Oh, I would love it in
yeah,
VV.
Otama on steroids.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Imagine that in something like Red Purple Law back in the days. Kind of like the new 2K Ace Luffy Sabo that's gonna come out in OP 13. Okay.
Oh, that card looks insane. I can't believe they gave it 2K counter as well.
Yeah, some
Why?
interesting we saw something interesting happen here. Karazu reducing the carrot, and then Race Max and Kuma popping it.
Ooh, that's very nice for Flo here. Gets rid of that carrot. Means that his board's a bit more active next turn. Really well played there. Goes to 5 here. What do you think? Is this a block from the koala?
I mean, there's no carrot on the board anymore, but even then, carrot would probably always stun your Karasu. So yeah, I would probably just block this.
I don't think Dietmar here wants to play a Hody
Oh, then
to
you would
punish him,
start.
and I don't think he. Yes.
Would start.
And he doesn't want to go all in with the Arouge to try and clear this
Yeah.
Karasu. So yeah, I think a block is unlikely to get punished.
I mean, 8 down for Bonney could be Cavendish, Carrot, Cavendish, Smoker. Could be 2 5 drops. Would be very strong. Leaving the Rouge active this time so you don't die, and then maybe playing Carrot to stun something. But still a very threatening board. And he chooses to attack 5, which is very risky. Flo still has like 3 cards in hand, so there's probably gonna be 1k in it. This deck doesn't play too many bricks.
Yeah, I think that's very greedy from Dietmar there, opting to forego his blocker. He's only on 2 cards in life.
Yeah, it's 2 cards in life. And a lot of swings waiting for you.
Maybe he just has a lot more counter in hand this game.
Yeah, just 2Ks.
We know it's all 2Ks if some of those extracts start coming down. Just trying to build up some kind of board.
It would have been funny if Dietmar, because we saw Dietmar tag against Teach, the gym base from yesterday, if you've seen that. Would have been funny if Dietmar tagged for Bonney as well and added more carrots and also played the extract from, when is it, OPO1, OPO2, the one that kills the rest at 4 cost?
K's a forecast. Yeah, that would be amazing in this matchup.
Yeah. This and carrot would be very strong. But also Luna.
So it's exactly as you said. Really good play here. Cavendish into Carrot, frees the Karasu. Yeah, gets rid of that power reducing on the leader. Makes him a bit healthier here, but Flo still has some really good swings here coming in. Of course, one of them gets rested by Dietmar's leader ability, but still going to be some big pressure here.
Yeah, rest in the Rouge again. I feel like that's greedy. If it's like a 7k swing, sure, you're probably gonna get a buddy off the board, which in the long term is gonna be better for you. But here it's just 1 card for no block. And it's still like 4 swings. So you have to guard out of 2.
Absolutely, I agree.
And something like Inazuma could also come down. It might even be more swings.
Oh, Inazuma. I think that might be the only rush card in his deck. And
Yeah.
that's a question actually I had before. What do you think about Dragon in this deck as a late game rush option?
And I think Dragon is good when Buggy is good, because then you have like more tools to deal with Buggy. And your curve is like Koala and like the 6 drop Koala into like Buggy or the 5 cost Ivankov. But I think otherwise it's like probably not as necessary, because like you want your games to end before you play the dragon usually. And it's more bricks. That's also an issue.
Very true, very true.
So I feel like you either play more trigger or like dragon, and some players choose dragon, some players choose the triggers.
So he uses his leader ability here, buffs up both the Vankovs and the Kuma. I think he's going to have to start swinging with that 5 cost of Vankov if he doesn't want it rested. That's probably going to rest the 4 costs.
Yeah, likely. The forecast could cheat the Inazuma in for free, makes it basically a free extra swing. Yeah, we just start the 9. Would assume it live and don't think you're swinging into the Rouge here. Then the Rouge got his value. Yep.
Oh, ooh, looks like the 9's going to get through. Like, this is still 9 Don open for Betty here with 3 swings, possibly 4 if he gets down that free Inazuma, like you said. So Dietmar's in a pretty bad spot here.
We could do 9-10, or if we have the Inazuma split it.
Opts to go 8 with the Kuma. He's thinking about it. Or is it going to be 3 Don on the Koala and go 9? No, he does commit to the 8 from the Kuma. 3 Don plus 3k from the leader ability. If Dietmar's got a hand of counters, now's the time. 2
Yeah.
Tashigi's counters out of that.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to take this swing.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we could still go 8-9.
Looks like that's what he's going to do. Attaches 3 Don the leader. Because if this is another 2 2Ks, Dietmar's in a pretty good spot here. I mean, the Arouge is probably dying. No, he takes. Could be 9 at face with the Koala for game.
Yeah, that's what you have to think about. I feel like it's always maybe it's not. I mean, you have 2 life, so if you swing the 9, rest your Koala, there's a good possibility that you just die because like Flo has 2 cards in hand, but you also die to Hody, which at this point having taken all his life, I think the possibility is there that Hody is in his hand, and then you also die.
Absolutely. If you're going down that line of play, then
Mm.
yeah, that's just another brick in Dietmar's hands. So he's probably just got a load of bricks in hand. I think definitely go for it here. I think this might be the best chance you're ever going to get at the lethal. But we'll see what he does. We don't know what that last card in hand is.
And he goes
Oh,
for
yes,
it.
he commits. That's 9. Is this going to be another handful of
Yes,
bricks?
we
It
have
is.
another house in hand. So yeah. Flo takes it, is happy about it.
Oh, so happy. And that's Morley in hand.
Yeah.
Another brick.
Yeah, I mean the best
Wow,
reason
good
to go
game.
for game at this point is just kid because like you get 1 card stunned by the parrot, you get 1 card like at least 2 bodies killed. There's still a Rouge on the board, and then if you don't have a reducer, kid might actually close out the game for the Betty player here. But yeah, Dietmar died twice to building a house. Building a brick house.
Absolutely. It's just the way of Betty. They have so many late game, high impact tools with some 9 costs and 10 costs. But early game, unless they get it out of hand, they're just bricks in hand. Real shame. But still really well played. I think he held on quite well there. Did some really good plays getting those carrots down, getting the Cavendish. I think swinging with the Arouge, like we said, might have been a bit too greedy. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, he couldn't have
overall,
died if he
great game.
did if he didn't swing, he wouldn't have died because then the Rouge was still active.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He would have held on another turn. And I think we did see he had an 8 cost kid in hand, so
Yeah,
that definitely could have made all the difference there.
then we have 1 more game left. That is gonna be Div 1. So now that we have seen both Div 2 games, I can put the Div 2 table on the stream. And we can see RJ is now in third, not in second anymore, but has 1 more game to play this week. So he could go back to 18 points and go back to second place. I'm not sure if him winning would make him place before Jack. Jack has, I mean, yeah, if he wins 2-0, then he's before Jack. So if he wins 2-0, then RJ is second.
Very nice. Dietmar's still holding on to the top spot there on games difference. 2 games ahead of Jack,
He's
but
both
they still both have one more match to play each. So it could be anyone's game at the top there.
for sure. And
Of course, RJ here still has 2 more games to play. So he could end with the 18 points. Same with Laboon here. They could all end up with 18 points going into their final match. That could make the second division very spicy at the
yeah,
top.
the second division is very spicy at the top. Yeah. And then we make a short 5-minute break, and then we're back with a Div 1 game, Savoia against Holy Jones, against Moss.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.